Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you.
Well, hello, and thank you so much for joining us on the Our Team Podcast. This is going to be another amazing podcast. And for not just the reason that they're always pretty amazing, we have Steph Winter with us here again.
Thanks, Ryan. Always happy to be here.
It's so nice to have you here. We're going to try to keep you a little bit more on topic, because this can't be a 2-hour podcast like your last one.
Oh,
With I think you did a podcast with, who'd you do it with? And it was just really long.
Eric Tackett.
It's
because he talks slow.
He does talk a little slow,
I'm
but
just kidding.
but I understand every word he says.
When I
So
went back and I
there's that.
listened to it, I talk so fast and he talks so paced.
I really like Eric Tackett. He's super cool.
So cool.
Yeah, he is. He brings some cool culture too to the team.
Definitely one of the coolest.
Yes. So we ended up having to do a two-parter on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard when you're doing it live. So we had to do like a live one like this is, and then we had to do a fake live one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was weird. But we are live, and we're excited to be here. Today we're going to be talking about, do you even know what we're talking about today?
Well, real quick, part of the funnest part of the podcast with Eric Tackett is that I know Eric Johnson is doing the editing. So sometimes I like to squirrel around just to see what Johnson does in the editing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or start talking, since these are filmed as well.
Yeah.
You can start talking, making it look like the words don't match up.
Oh, it's amazing.
Do all kinds of stuff to screw around with them.
Yeah, it's like a 5-part system. We've got 3 cameras and 2 microphones. And so that's like 5 different pieces of digital information that he's able to separate and put back together. So I just kind of like to see what he does with it. So,
He does. We had a little mishap. I was doing a podcast with Luke, and all of a sudden Luke's camera, his phone, which we were recording with, started making this chirping sound like crickets. And so we had to stop the whole thing, and so he edited his way around that really well.
Wow.
So Eric's pretty good. This is really his baby. So
yeah.
I'm glad that he's taking the initiative to help us put these out here, because it's fun to connect with the people that watch these on a routine basis or listen to them on a routine basis. We finally have more people actually downloading the podcast than we do views.
Really?
We do. But we
Wow.
still.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this
Thank
on
you.
a podcast, because those do exist, then thank you for doing that. Leave a comment on your favorite podcast platform, because that helps us too.
Yeah.
Okay, we decided we were going to talk about something
Trash.
that's kind of heavy.
Garbage.
We are talking about trash. a
Dump
little bit of garbage.
trucks.
I hope there's no dump trucks. That would really mess this up. We're talking about doing special events in your farm.
Okay, yes.
And how important that is. One time we did talk about doing the food drive. The food drive was just super incredibly impactful. I mean, we only had time to hit 200 doors.
Wow, that's still a lot.
It is a lot. This particular farm we're talking about is our personal farm. It's 330 doors, so we only hit 200 of them. We got 50 people to participate. That's huge.
That's a lot of people fed.
That's a lot of people fed. We filled my father-in-law's Yukon.
Great.
So we put the seats down. We filled it to where we knew we were putting stuff in and closing the door on it, because nothing else would fit.
Mm-hmm.
That's how full this thing was. So
Shoving it in through the window.
we literally were. So we knew when we got there, we had to kind of brace ourselves when we opened the doors, because there'd be cans going everywhere and all that stuff. It was just really fun. So we really got the bug to do more community events, and not just because it's good for business, but it really just feels amazing to give back.
Mm-hmm.
So specifically, we're going to talk about an event that we're doing that is actually called Dumpsters, Donations, and Donuts.
Cool.
Yeah. So what do you think the point of that one is? Dumpsters and donuts.
Dumpsters, donations, and donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like you can bring your junk on down. You can toss it in a dumpster. Whatever doesn't need to go into the dumpster can go into the donation pile, and then you get a little donut on your way out.
That's right.
Sounds
Okay.
pretty great for a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
From about 10 to 2.
you pretty much summed it up. So, guys, thanks for joining us on this podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, isn't that the coolest thing? So let's unpack that a little bit. There's what you're doing, what you're telling the neighborhood is like, look, it's spring cleaning. This is an absolute spring cleaning play.
Heck yeah.
You're always looking for excuses that are not unnatural.
Yeah.
To hit your farm, hit them with something that's really impactful. And that's really relevant, right?
Well, this is really awesome. I mean, you're in a really nice neighborhood with an HOA, right? So you can't have any trash out on your front yard or on the side of your yard. And you know, nice people live in your neighborhood, so they probably don't have trashy garages.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a real rainy winter, and we haven't really had time to clean up, be outside, open our garages. You know, if anything, at this time, by this time of year, we've had a heat wave. We have not had one heat wave this year. No. I literally count for like the 90-degree heat wave that we have in January, almost guaranteed every year. Every year we get a week in January that's like 90 degrees. It's a heat wave.
Yeah.
And we did not get that this year. And so your neighbors probably have a bunch of stuff just shoved into corners because they haven't had a chance. I mean, gosh, the weeds that are out right now, and they've just got a bunch of trash accumulating. And what are they going to do with all of that trash?
They're going to bring it to our house because we are providing a dumpster for them. That's
Wouldn't
exactly
it be great if they had a neighbor who loved them so much that this neighbor said, wow, you know what I'm going to do for my neighbors this spring? I'm going to get a dumpster and I'm going to pay for it and I'm going to put it in front of my house and I'm going to invite all my neighbors to come over and bring their trash and throw it in my dumpster. And then I'm going to give them a donut and make them my friend.
So, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So people are asking when we were door knocking.
More importantly, where are you getting the donuts from?
Just called Sally Donuts.
Sally Donut.
Yeah, so we're getting them from Sally Donuts.
Sally Donuts.
I laugh every time I see the name of her company. It's like Sally Donut. Do you know there's supposed to be an S on there, right? So
there is no grammar in LLC.
There's no grammar in that. So it was funny because as we were handing out, and I want to go through how to do one of these really successful.
Okay.
Just by unpacking what you should do to make sure people
how
show
you're
up.
preparing and letting your neighbors know that you're going to have a dumpster.
Exactly, and there's all kinds of cool ways to do that. But before I do that, I want to say that part of that is you got to door knock. And it's very easy to door knock because you have such a reason to do it.
So what does it mean to door knock?
Door knocking is defined as doing a ring performance.
Ring performance.
Everybody has a Ring camera.
So this is now Cirque du Soleil.
It is.
Oh,
so
wow.
I have a script, and I just ring the doorbell, and I.
So you're actually walking up to their front door.
100%.
With a flyer in hand.
With a flyer, with a stack of flowers.
Now,
I only give them one, but yeah.
What happens if it says no solicitors?
If it says no soliciting and it's really specific, or if it says please don't ring the bell, sleeping baby, whatever, that kind of thing. I did several of those. I just leave it on the.
Well, are you soliciting?
I am technically. I am. I'm not selling them anything, but I am. I'm doing something that is in a roundabout way. I want their business.
You're right. Grammatically, soliciting. Yes, you're not selling exactly on site, but you are soliciting in theory.
Yes, I am. So if it says no soliciting, I just make a quick judgment call. Should I just leave this here, or I do. I just leave them there. We have plenty of flyers, and so we print them out professionally. They're on card stock, so they're really pro looking. But here's the thing: we actually had people say, "Oh, that is so awesome! How much does it cost?" And I said, I was telling people, "Oh, it's going to cost you a free donut," and they're like, "We got to bring donuts."
I got to bring a donut.
And I was like, "No, I said that wrong. We're not even going to charge you. We're going to actually give you a free donut." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool. That happened twice." When he asked me,
now, are you going to have hand sanitizer available when they go from dumpster to donut?
Yeah, okay. I think so. I think we'll have
cool.
that. We'll have the table. We'll have the pop-up tent. We'll have all the community stuff there. We're going to have all kinds of things for people to kind of look. I want to try to get as many emails as I can, so I'm going to have a place for people to sign in because one of the pitches is, look, I want to get to know you. We sell real estate in this community. I'm hoping the rules of reciprocity kick in. They're going to want to, at least think of us when the time comes. Yeah. And I want to have a lot of conversations with people. We're going to have more than one of us there. It's going to be a kind of a big deal. We're squeezing it into, a 4-hour period of time. So it's hopefully it's going to funnel people and kind of bottleneck people into an event where there's a lot of things going on, or a lot of people there. And I want to add people to my newsletter. I really do. So it's like, would you be kind enough to give us your email, your name and email, so we can make sure you're included in our. And I don't think anyone's going to say no to that. They're going to be like, absolutely, here you go.
Well, I mean, at this point, the reality is there's nobody more invested than you and Lorianne to get them the highest value for their house.
For sure.
You're in their neighborhood. You're their neighbor. Yeah. Their comp supports your comp. Yep. So there is quite literally nobody more invested than getting them the best value for their home.
100%.
With the least amount of hassle. Because worst case scenario, what happens if you list your neighbor's house and it doesn't sell? And now you're stuck with that neighbor.
Yeah.
You're going to make sure their house gets sold.
I don't want to get stuck with that neighbor after not selling their house.
No. So there is nobody more invested in getting the job done for the highest value than your own neighbors.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I might use that line. So anyway, it's a free event. We have a dumpster. We rented that. It's about $640 for a 40-yarder. It's one of the big ones. We have a big banner we're going to put on that. That costs $150. We have a big banner that we're going to put behind the tent that kind of has a QR code and things like that. That costs some money too.
Can that be the new picture for our team meeting when we go over trash?
Yeah,
like the banner with like the Our Team on it.
Yeah, it totally can. So here's what you want to do. If you're thinking about doing something like this, you can't just put a bunch of flyers on the mailboxes around town.
No.
First of all, you're not allowed to do that in most farms, and it's not going to be effective. You have to hit it with this multi-tiered approach, and it's very synergistic if you do this. The first thing you're going to do is circle prospect. So what is that?
Circle prospecting. Well, it sounds like you might have a title rep who has access to a database that can kind of take the location that you're starting in, draw a circle around it, gather the data for the people who live within that circle, and then prospect to them within that circle.
You have to have a list of every name and every address in your farm. And so you can actually draw, in this case it wasn't a circle, it was kind of a funky shape around the community. And it was a polygon, thank you. I have every single name and every single email. Not every single email, that's what I have every single name and every single address. But that's what this weekend is for. Yeah, we will get every single email. I have 111 emails of the 330, and I have about 90 phone numbers.
So are you going to let someone dump their trash if they don't give you any contact information?
Absolutely, because we're still there giving back. Circle Prospect, you've got to get as many emails out as you can, and you have to get as many texts out as you can about the event a few times before, like start 2 weeks before, and then hit them twice the week before.
Okay.
You've got to deliver the flyers. You've got to make the flyers, deliver the flyers. There should be a QR code that takes people to a landing page that explains the whole thing on every single thing that you do.
And you were able to do all of this between your KV Core and Canva.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
And I have a website that I use for all kinds of landing pages for our business, so I just use that too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so the QR code takes people to a landing page where it's literally me saying, hey guys, I'm your neighbor here in the Terracina tract. We're doing a special event. It's totally free, no strings attached. Bring your junk between this time and this time. If you don't have any trash but you have something you want to donate, bring that too. We have a separate pile for that. So anyway, it's just kind of a quick basically just a typical talking head type of video that real estate agents do all the time anyway.
Yeah.
But then you're just constantly driving traffic to that, and you're putting the word out there that you're doing it. If you do the emails, the text, the flyer, the QR code, landing page, all that kind of stuff, and then on the day of the event you put out some matching directional signs that say free event. We made for $15 each. We made 15 of them, and that included, H frames.
Oh, that's great.
And so we have these beautiful signs that say, Sunday special event or free event, dumpster donation donuts. People are going to know what it is because they saw the flyer.
Perfect.
They've gotten emails and texts. They know it's happening, and it's specific to Terracina, so they feel like it's a special Terracina event. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be very successful.
So what would you say is the overhead cost going into this so far?
$300 in banners, which we're going to use again.
Reusable.
Absolutely.
Right, so that's awesome.
We did buy a new Easy Up.
Okay.
That was about $250, but that, again, reusable.
And rest in peace to the owner of Easy Up,
yeah,
who was a Marietta resident and recently passed away in a philanthropic endeavor.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really sad.
Yeah. He was running supplies in a helicopter up to people on Big Bear who were snowed in, from what I understand.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so 300 on banners, another how much on the Easy Up, brand new Easy Up?
$250 was a very nice one.
That's all reusable marketing, so that's awesome.
The direction signs.
The directional signs, so like $200 for directional signs, which will be able to be reused by the team and then reused next spring when you do this again in your 100%. Farm, because you're not going anywhere.
That's right. I design all the flyers in Canva. I'm actually pretty dang good at it. I can do it for my team, or the team members can do it. They're very good. You're exceptionally good at Canva. So if you're slightly artistic and you know how to use Canva, you can put all this stuff together. I wanted to put them on cardstock. I didn't want to put paper flyers out to anyone. And I want to have a handout at the event so I can, give people something that is, has some value to it. It's a pretty sticky piece too, because it says right on it, your Terracina home is worth a lot more than you think, and it's just a QR code. It takes them to a place where they can also register and get their value. I'm hoping to get a couple of those just so I can show people what how that tool works and let them know. So that was 50 flyers, because I'm expecting at least 50 people to come. 300 flyers that are on cardstock to actually get to people's door. That in total was about $220.
Okay.
And then
the dumpster.
Donuts are what, $15 a dozen? I'm going to get 5 dozen donuts.
Okay.
So the dumpster was $640. I mean,
$1,200.
I'd say if you roll out all the costs, because you should be doing special events in your farm. We use this as an opportunity to re-up a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So our Easy Up was hammered, so we're done with that. So if you roll all that reusable stuff out of this, I mean, you're really looking at a dumpster for $640. You're looking at about $200 and something in flyers, both for the day of the event and before. Everything else, and donuts, of course.
Right.
Everything else is
reusable, evergreen.
Way under $1,000. Just a lot of sweat equity, and
what's the median price point in your farm?
$1 million.
So if you get one off of that, is the ROI worth it?
I'm thinking it's probably worth it.
It sounded pretty worth it.
Yeah, because look, even if you give them a discount on the listing, you're still going to way more than make up for it.
Yeah, and then you get another sign in the yard in your farm.
Absolutely.
Which is name of the game.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
More signs in the yard?
Yeah.
In your farm?
In your farm. That's what you want. So I would encourage people to not overthink it. It's so simple.
Well, you know why don't overthink it? Because it's only your first one. Because you're going to do it next year and the year after that.
Yeah.
So don't overwhelm yourself thinking that this is going to be such a big deal, because it's just your first one.
Right.
Your first annual.
Yeah. And this is the first annual in this community. The community is 3.5 years old.
Yeah.
So, and there is nobody that owns this farm. I do see,
you get one-off listing agents in there, but nothing. You guys are the most consistent.
Yeah, we've listed and sold 5 homes on our farm. So I know that sounds like a very small number. We've only been doing it for 2 years.
Well, it's a young farm.
It's a very young farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but
the developers' plants are just now taking root.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they haven't even really finished the streets.
Yeah,
they still haven't come through and done the final slurry. They've marked up sidewalks again and stuff like that. So it's not even. It still feels like a very new farm. But
good. Well, you definitely don't want the dumpster out after they slurry.
No, you don't.
Because that's going to damage your new asphalt.
It could. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to let people know what we're doing, so it would encourage you to do the same thing in your farm. Don't do it in my farm, but do it in your farm. And
well, it sounds like you're going to have an amazing turnout, and I think your neighbors are going to really look forward to this next year.
Oh, yeah. The emails that I sent out, because remember, part of that circle prospecting involves emails. I already have a lot of those. They didn't sign up for anything. I just got their email from my title rep, and instead of being like, hey, unsubscribe me, I never asked for you, they're saying, thank you so much. I can't wait. I have a bunch of tree clippings. Can I bring those? Mm-hmm. Sure. How many bags do you have? About 15. Love it. Please bring them.
We have many husbands of the year showing up with bags of trash.
Yep. Is there anything else you want to say about this?
No, it sounds like you're going to have a great turnout. Neighbors are going to love it. It's going to really build up some momentum. I mean, I'm just thinking this is going to build up momentum for Q1 of 2024.
Yeah.
people will do this now, and as it gets to Christmas of next year and they start going through all their Christmas and realizing, oh, we have all this junk, gosh, I hope those trashy neighbors bring that trash can again.
Yep.
You might get known as the trash house or the trash, but as long as you're the trash neighbors with the real estate license.
That's right. You can call me whatever you want. Okay, wait, before we go, you just reminded me of something. How many times do you think in your farm, effectively, should you do a special event where you are actually, you have
probably once a quarter,
good call to action where people come together and all that kind of stuff?
You could do something once a quarter, for sure.
It wouldn't be too much?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do. I mean, you could do photos with Santa. You could do photos with the Easter Bunny. In the middle of summer, you can do, photos with your pets at the park.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things you can come up with.
Yep. You could do, I think you should at least hit, I don't think when you do something where you go to someone's door and you put a bag there that says we're collecting food for the local food bank, that's not really an event. That's just something, that's a very good way of touching your farm, but that's not an event. As far as events go, I think you need to do at least 2.
Oh, 2 a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 is a lot.
Yeah, 4 is a lot. Yeah. So this is one event. We're going to probably do something in summer around the 4th of July kind of thing. But we're still going to be doing the food drives. We're still going to do the toy drives. We're still going to do the sock drive for the homeless. So, homeless don't need socks in the summer, but in the wintertime, it's really kind of cool. And there's a lot of places that we've talked to that said they need socks. So we could do a sock drive. I think it'd be absolutely a scream. It'd be really fun to do that. So anyway, just a couple ideas and encourage people that are listening to this to say, you know what, I can do that.
How can you be a leader in your community? How can you take this one step beyond real estate and while building your business so that you can contribute to more?
Yeah.
What can you do philanthropically for your community under the name of your business? Use your business to do good, to be a community leader. That's why we do business.
That's right. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, from the deepest part of my heart, if we don't get one deal from this, it's okay. I got to meet my neighbors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my farm. I got to meet my neighbors and say hi, or whatever. And what if all my neighbors happen to be realtors? That's fine.
They'll probably still hire you to list their house.
Well, when they see the marketing we do, they usually get upset. They're like, how do you do all of that on every listing? Yes, we do.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have so much fun.
Excuse me, are you coming?
I'm working. Yes.
Liar. I told her she has to wear. I feel a little overbranded today with Our Team hat, Our Team shirt. I'm a little overbranded. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We will do this again, and next time I'm going to let her talk more.
Ooh, thank you. It's your show, Brian.
It's not my show. It's a team show.
It's your dumpster.
Hey, wait, before you go, would you do us a favor?
All right.
If you found any value in this content, would you please like and subscribe to it? Maybe even leave a comment? It really helps us out.